What is up, guys? Soulspurs back here with another video, and in today's video I have my free agency review for the Los Angeles Lakers. I just thought it'd be fitting to talk about this topic now, as most of the all of the big free agents have been signed, and the guys left the free agents are role players looking to, get a contract in NBA. So getting into it, I thought for the Los Angeles Lakers, whatever they did in this free agency would have just been icing on the cake. I mean, trading for Anthony Davis and pairing it up with LeBron, you could say that they could pair those two with anybody and you'd be able to win a championship. And I'd have to slightly agree. I'd have to agree. But continuing on, I don't think they had the best free agency, like a top tier perfect free agency by any means. I mean, you weren't able to get a third star to pair up with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and you weren't even able to get the top tier role players / free agents after the stars in free agency, of course. So I just want to dive deeper into that. I thought that move, trying to get a third star instead of going after the top tier guys like JJ Redick, or maybe if you want to sign a Bojan Bogdanovic, or going after like a Malcolm Brogdon, those type of players. Obviously, I feel like that was a bad move by them, considering how in the NBA now you need depth. I thought last season, gave a perfect example of why depth is better than having star power. I mean, we saw players like Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson go down to injuries, and the Warriors weren't able to succumb that, and it affected them obviously highly. But another reason why it affected them so highly is because a team like the Raptors had such great depth, to slow down the Warriors, and they were always fresh. I mean, they had guys like Fred VanVleet and Serge Ibaka. Marcus Gasol was able to give you great minutes. Danny Green, Norman Powell. They just had great rotation players who knew their role and who were able to play well. And I think this is great, because moving forward, I think more teams will focus on depth more than star power, because you don't need 3-4 stars to win a championship. We just saw it this past championship run. We saw it this past playoffs. So getting into their free agency, I mean, they signed Rajon Rondo, KCP, re-signed them, re-signed JaVale McGee, acquired Danny Green and DeMarcus Cousins and Quinn Cook. I mean, those are fine role players, but obviously those aren't top tier guys. I mean, I guess DeMarcus Cousins, you definitely can say he's a top tier guy. I mean, he's 2 years removed from being an all-star. And I just want to talk about DeMarcus Cousins really quickly, because I feel like that's a topic of discussion that needs to be had. For signing him for just under $4 million is an amazing signing. I mean, he wasn't good at all last finals, but I mean, I feel like he was rushed back from a torn quad. First off, he tore his quad and tore his Achilles. I mean, now he's gonna have a full offseason of being healthy and getting back to that all-star form that he was just 2 seasons ago. First off. Second off, I mean, you're coming back from a torn quad, so you can't just come back and be an all-star immediately. That's why he wasn't hit. Even after he came back from his torn Achilles, he was still a pretty good player. He averaged around 16 and 10 and 4. I mean, if he can do that for the Lakers, that's a great acquisition, obviously, for the value at least. But moving on, guys like Rajon Rondo, he has been in this league for a while. He's a vet. He knows his role. That's what I have to applaud the Lakers for. They got a lot of role players, but they got a lot of key role players who know their role. Guys like Rajon Rondo and Danny Green know their role. Danny Green is an amazing spot-up shooter. He can defend too. He can defend the 1 through 3 possibly. He's on the older side. I believe he's in his mid to late 30s, but that shouldn't really affect you that much. And then Rajon Rondo, he's a vet. He's been in the league for a while. He's a champion, so he knows what it takes to win a championship. So 2 great vet signings. But then moving on past that, I mean, Quinn Cook, I don't know how I feel about Quinn Cook. I think he's a serviceable backup point guard. I don't know if he's much past that. I don't know if you're going to be giving him heavy minutes too. And then also looking at KCP. KCP is an okay NBA player. He isn't anything major. And then signing JaVale McGee, who I think is a good defender. He's moved past his times from his Wizards day and his Nuggets days, and has gotten a lot smarter in the NBA, of course. Yeah, so that's their free agency. If I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it like a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 maybe. I just felt like, obviously what I said earlier, whoever you paired it with LeBron and Anthony Davis, you would have been able to compete. That's truth. But I mean, the free agents they got, I would have, felt much better if they went out and got themselves a JJ Redick, or they went out and got themselves a Terrence Ross, or Al-Farouq Aminu, or DeMarre Carroll. All these top tier role players, instead of going out and looking at min guys like Quinn Cook and like KCP. But that's just my opinion. Overall, are they going to be able to compete for a championship? Yes, I think they're 100%. Maybe not favorites right now because of the other LA team, but I think they can definitely make the finals 100%. I mean, any team that has LeBron is bound to make the finals, besides last season, obviously, but LeBron was injured. So, yeah. And let's talk about that topic really quickly. I mean, the topic of LeBron James potentially slowing down is so dumb. First off, LeBron James, he was injured last year, so, you know, that hurt them. They were the 4th seed before he went down, and they were on a roll, too. I mean, they were blowing out the Warriors before LeBron James got injured, first off. Second off, I believe LeBron James would have played more games after the injury if you know, the Lakers had a chance to make the playoffs, which they didn't, so that's why he was shut down. And third, I would be scared if I was NBA teams. I mean, this is the first time LeBron has had extended rest since like his rookie year. Maybe not his rookie year, but since like 2005, 2006, not even 2006, because he went to the finals. Since like 2000, I guess you could say his rookie year. You know, this is the first time LeBron has really had a full offseason to go out and work out and gain that chemistry with your teammates, you know. And you can talk about the same thing with Anthony Davis, I guess, too. I mean, Anthony Davis has made the playoffs, I think, 3 times, or was it 3? I think it was 3 times in his NBA career. I think it was twice, actually. I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, he's still a top 10 player. I mean, Anthony Davis is an amazing defensive player. I mean, you talk about a 3-time all defensive player. I don't believe he's won any defensive player of the year awards in his career, but I mean, he's a 3-time blocks leader. You know, he always shows up, and then he's also a guy who gives you 27 and 12 with ease every single night. So that's great. And I think an underrated part of Anthony Davis that really isn't talked about as much is how good of a playoff performer he is. He averages 30 and 14 in the playoffs, though it is a small sample size. I believe it's around, I want to say, I believe it's around 13 or 14 games. But I mean, still, in those 14 games, he's played amazing. So that's something else to talk about. And yeah, I mean, this team, the way it's constructed also is kind of weird. I mean, with LeBron James, you know, his system, sort of say, has always been surround him with as much shooting as possible. And I mean, they do have shooters, and Danny Green, KCP, I guess Quinn Cook is a good shooter, but outside of that, it's kind of iffy. I mean, Kyle Kuzma, is he a knockdown shooter? No, I don't think he's a knockdown shooter. I think he's kind of streaky. I mean, he's weird. He can be on and off. So there's that. Rajon Rondo, obviously we know he's not a shooter. I mean, yeah, Anthony Davis can knock down the 3, but not at a high, you know, rate. Same thing with DeMarcus Cousins. So could be some cause for concerns there. But overall, I think this team will be fine. And even if it doesn't work out, I mean, these guys are like role-playing vets, you know. They're not like high, like, I need the ball to succeed, those type of players. So it'll be good for them. And I mean, there's lots of vets still out there. You know, Kyle Korver, I believe he's going to get released, or if he's not already released, he could be a good signing for them. Andrew Iguodala, there's been talks that he's looking to be released. Jonathan Simmons was just released. I mean, I don't know how much he can give you, but maybe he can give you something. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. If I have to give my opinion, say what they're going to do this offseason, do I think they're going to win a championship? I mean, that's a question I'm going to have to answer on a later date. I think, obviously, they're the second favorites. If it's not the Clippers, it's them, 100%. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy. It's So Sports, and I'm out. Peace.